1960s hippie slang that we still say today. Slang is a way of defining specific generations and what their values were, but some slang from the 1960s is timeless and still used today. Check it out. We have all said most of these hippie slang words at some point in our lives. Journey back with me to the 1960s where a language revolution was underway. Peace, man, echoed through the counterculture as expressions like dig it, bummer, and right on became the anthems of a generation. Fast forward to today, and these groovy phrases are still part of our everyday lexicon, as the spirit of the 1960s lives on in our words. Let's explore the origins of these timeless words from the 1960s and how words continue to be casually dropped in modern conversation. Can you dig it? Let's get into it. Now, these hippie words are not in any particular order, as numerically listing them would be subjective to the viewer. So without any further ado, here's your top hippie slang words in no particular order. Also, some words did not make the top 10 list, such as love. The word love was used heavily in the 1960s, but its origins date much further back. In a different context, however, it was used in its own unique way in the 60s through phrases like make love, not war. Additionally, many songs were written about love, such as the Beatles song All You Need Is Love. Peace! When you think about the 60s counterculture, the first thing that comes to mind are hippies making the peace sign. But the peace sign was actually a product of the 1950s, specifically 1958, and it was designed by British artist and designer Gerald Holtham. His peace sign was commissioned for use by the Campaign for Nuclear Disarmament in the United Kingdom. The CND was a group advocating for the end of nuclear weapon testing and disarmament during the Cold War. Holtham came up with the symbol by blending the signaling elements representing the letters N and D, symbolizing nuclear disarmament. The design includes a circle containing 3 lines, a vertical line, along with 2 diagonal lines, shaping an inverted Y. The peace sign quickly gained popularity and became a widely recognized symbol of peace and anti-war movements globally. Over the years, it has transcended its original association with nuclear disarmament and has come to represent broader messages of peace and unity. The peace sign remains an iconic and enduring symbol in popular culture and activism. The peace sign became the symbol for the anti-war movements of the 1960s, specifically Vietnam. The word gained popularity as a greeting, farewell, or expression of goodwill, reflecting the desire for peace and harmony amid the social and political upheavals of the time. Some people say that the Tree of Life represents an inverted peace sign, but that's not true. You got to go all the way back to 1958 to find the original peace sign, which became one of the most iconic symbols in world history, thanks to the peace-loving hippies of the 1960s. Man was often used as an everyday word and was an informal way to address or refer to someone, similar to how we use the words dude or bro today. It was not uncommon for people to say things like, hey man, when addressing a friend or expressing camaraderie. The term could be used to convey a sense of empathy, agreement, or understanding. For example, man, that's cool, or I hear you, man. Dig it. This is one of my favorites. Dig it originated in the 1960s counterculture, particularly among the hippie movement. It became popular as an expression of understanding, approval, or appreciation. The term dig in this context means to comprehend or appreciate something, and dig it was often used to encourage others to understand or enjoy a particular situation or idea. Can you dig it? Oh ho ho, bummer, man. Bummer was used to express disappointment, frustration, or a negative situation. The term is derived from the colloquial meaning of bum, which refers to someone who is lazy, worthless, or disappointing. In the 1960s, bummer became a way to describe something that was unpleasant, unfortunate, or disheartening. For example, if plans fell through, or if something went wrong, people might say, "That's a bummer." Freak out. The term is used to describe an intense emotional or psychological reaction, often in response to the use of mind-altering substances like psychedelic drugs. The expression freak out captures the idea of experiencing a profound and sometimes overwhelming reaction, often characterized by a heightened sense of awareness, altered perceptions, and intense emotions. The term became associated with the psychedelic culture in the 1960s, where individuals sought mind-expanding experiences through the use of substances like LSD. For example, you might hear something like, "The crowd began to freak out when the concert began," or, "Man, that dude is freaking out." Right on. Right on is an expression to convey agreement, approval, or affirmation. The term reflects a positive and supportive attitude toward a statement or an idea. Right on was part of the informal language of the time, reflecting a laid-back and communal spirit of the 1960s. It was often used to show solidarity, acknowledge a good point, or express enthusiasm for something. The phrase has its roots in African American vernacular English and the soul music culture, where it was used to express approval or encouragement. Cool. Cool is another word whose origins can be traced back to African American vernacular English and the jazz culture, where it described a certain style and attitude. In the 1960s, cool transitioned from being primarily associated with jazz and the beatnik subculture to becoming a mainstream term embraced by the broader youth culture. The word was popularized by the Beat Generation writers and later became synonymous with the attitudes and behaviors of the rebellious and nonconformist youth of the 1960s. During this time, cool took on a broader meaning, signifying something fashionable, stylish, or admirable. It became a term of approval and a descriptor for laid-back and an effortless, confident demeanor. Dude. The word dude has been around since the late 19th century, particularly in the American West, where it referred to a city dweller unfamiliar with rural life. The context behind the word dude has changed significantly, which is why dude made this list. In the 1960s, particularly in California, the term underwent a transformation and was adopted by the surfer subculture. Surfers used dude as a friendly and informal way to address one another. Over time, the term expanded beyond the surfing community and became a more general form of address among the youth and counterculture of the 1960s. Dude evolved into a versatile slang term used not only as a form of address, but also to express surprise, agreement, or acknowledgement. Trippy. The origin of this word is what it sounds like. The term is derived from the word trip, which was commonly used to describe the hallucinogenic and mind-altering effects of psychedelic substances such as LSD and mushrooms. During the 1960s, there was a significant cultural and social movement that embraced experimentation with psychedelic drugs, and this influenced various aspects of popular culture, including language.
Drop out of high school, drop out of college, drop out of graduate school, turn on, tune in, drop out.
Trippy emerged as a way to describe experiences that were surreal, mind-bending, or characterized by visual and sensory distortions, often induced by psychedelic substances. Vibes. Vibes also has its origin in African American vernacular English and was popularized in the 1960s as part of the counterculture and hippie movements. Vibes is short for vibrations, and it was used to refer to the overall atmosphere, feelings, or energy associated with a person, place, or situation. In the context of the 1960s counterculture, vibes became a way for individuals to describe the positive or negative energy they sensed in a particular environment. It was often used to convey a sense of intuition or perception about the emotional or spiritual ambiance of a situation. The use of vibes reflects the holistic and interconnected worldview of a counterculture, where individuals were attuned to the energies and emotions surrounding them. And it could well have been an inspiration for the 1966 Beach Boys song, Good Vibrations. Chill out. Chill encourages relaxation, calmness, and a laid-back attitude. It is often used as a way to tell someone to calm down or take it easy. During the 1960s, the phrase chill out was embraced as part of the language of the hippie movement and the broader counterculture ethos. It aligns with the values of peace, love, and a more relaxed and open-minded lifestyle that were characteristic of the time. There were a few other hippie words from the 1960s that did not make our list, such as far out, groovy, and flower power. These were popular words in the 60s, but this video is about those hippie words that we still use today. The language of the 1960s isn't just a thing of the past. Peace, right on, and chill out are still part of how we talk today. These phrases are more than retro. They become a natural part of everyday conversation. Whether you're a dude keeping it cool or finding things a bit trippy, these words connect us across the years. Just remember that the language of the past is still very much a part of our present. Peace out, my dudes and dudettes. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. On Patreon, you can find Zentasia and help support my work for as little as $1.11 a month on the In5D Patreon page at patreon.com/In5D. Every Wednesday at 7 p.m., stay tuned to the Zentasia YouTube channel for Spirit Chat, where your voice can be heard on a plethora of spiritual topics. Thank you for watching this exclusive Zentasia video. Much love to all. Peace!